As a business owner or manager, do you ever find yourself holding on to staff members that you know really are not the best fit for the business? You don't know what you're going to get if you have to go out and replace them and search again. Or you find yourself when you are interviewing and making a selection that you're not really the right person, but it's the best one you got that came in the door. Well, the reason for these is because you don't have a structured and proven system for interviewing and selection. Everything in the business is a system. And if you've got a process you're following consistently and you've honed it to get the best, most predictable results, that's a true system. And the same, you can have a system when it comes to interviewing and selecting new hires. When we don't have that, what happens, especially when this happens when we're short-staffed, is desperation and fear kicks in. And when desperation and fear drives your decisions, bad results are going to happen. You end up finding yourself in the interview where you're selling your business to the candidate on why they need to be part of this company, rather than turning it around and having the candidate sell themselves on why they are the best fit for your business. So we'll look at developing a system here to get more predictable results for the best hiring. Because when you don't have that system, you end up settling for lower and lower quality candidates, which means performance in your business goes down, and you're going to have that revolving door of new hires leaving, having to replace them, and your customers are going to start noticing they don't see the same face every time they come to your business. When you do have that proven system, you protect the quality of your brand. You hire for fit and not just looking for somebody who has a pulse. And you're able to leverage your team effectively so you can work less hours while your revenue and income goes up. So let's look at creating the system. The first is, when you look at that position or that role you're trying to fill, make a list. Get a legal pad out and make a list on the skills, the traits, the experience that the most effective employee in that role would need to be successful. Now, this is well beyond what your job description would list, because a job description lists the bare minimum expectations for the role. And if all you're looking for is the bare minimum, all you're going to get is the bare minimum. And that's why people get dissatisfied with who they've hired. And why they get disappointed, because who they thought this person could become is not who they actually are today. And they're not going to get the same results. So, for example, if I'm hiring a salesperson and I have a vision of developing a sales team, let's say 10-person sales team in the future, but I'm hiring my first salesperson today, I need to be thinking of, is this somebody that is going to be able to follow a system or process so that I can use to have all my team members and the future team members who I don't know who they are following the same process for the same results? Are they going to be open to being held accountable to KPIs? And if it's a salesman who may be very successful, but it's kind of a cowboy, a gunslinger, they do their own thing, they don't like to be held accountable to KPIs, as good of a salesperson they are today, they could be damaging and trouble to a sales team in the future. Not the right hire if you're building for the future, right? So identify those traits. Once you have those traits down, then you're going to start crafting open-ended questions to use in your interviews. You're going to craft these questions so that it opens up from something greater than a 2-word or a 2-sentence answer, but hopefully opens them up to a conversation, a dialogue, and talk about their experience. So you're going to be able to identify who has the right skills and traits for this position, for your company. Once you have those, the last 3 is identify the top 3 most critical traits, skills, or experience items for this new role to have. And between those questions you crafted and those top 3 traits, you're going to create basically a scorecard for interviews. And you'll use the same scorecard, asking the same questions, checking off to see if these traits are being met or not, those top 3 traits are being met or not, so that when you're comparing candidates against each other, it's an apples to apples comparison. Because if I don't ask the same questions, or if I don't score the same traits, it's apples and oranges. And if you've got a candidate and they don't meet all three of those top three traits or skills, they're not in the running. They should not be in the running for the position. And sometimes you got to go back to the drawing board. Like I said, what I see often is the employer puts a job ad out there. They get some candidates. They interview them. And I've actually heard people say this is, well, I hired this person. I made an offer. And I asked why. And it's like, well, it was the best of what I got. That is the scariest phrase I've ever heard. Because this is the best of the worst candidates out there. That's not a good hire. If your one ad is not bringing good candidates, change the one ad. See if it attracts a different quality candidate. But keep doing it until you're finding that one that's the best fit. There's a lot of people out there. Unemployment may be low, but it doesn't mean that people that are working are happy in their current job. You could have the culture in the company they're really looking for. So follow it, create a system like this, and you get predictable results. You'll protect your brand. You'll hire for fit. You'll be able to leverage your team so you can work less hours while increasing income. It's very exciting, and it can work in any business. So I'd love for you to schedule a discovery call for me. And in that call, I'll be able to share that face-to-face resource tool we have for driving those interviews. And be able to assist you if you need to and help in developing some of those interview questions. I look forward to hearing from you.